Hi everyone, welcome to another episode with Be My Guest with Birce Didar. Today I have a really special guest with me in the room physically. So would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Frederik. I'm nearly 50 years old, Dane of origin, and married to Maria, who's a medical doctor, and together we have 3 kids.
Yes, thank you. And what do you do, Frederik?
So I have the honor of working in a big pharmaceutical company, which I've done for more than 20 years. And I'm heading up one of the therapy areas in this large pharmaceutical company.
And it's one of the most exciting ones, though.
It sure is. So I'm heading up the obesity franchise in this company.
And have you been always in the commercial area? So how did you start?
So I've had the pleasure of working in this company, I said, more than 20 years. I actually started in the financial area, so I was a few years in finance. Then I was in our headquarter commercial organization. And then I've been living abroad for more than 10 years where I've had different operational roles. And now I'm back in headquarter heading up this therapy area.
And how was working in finance versus commercial?
So I have the pleasure of finding joy in most things that I do. So I have an economic background, so finance is super interesting, and a good finance partner can influence business to an extent nobody believes. So that was cool.
Yeah, it's good to have people in the world that finds finance interesting because definitely it's not my bread and butter.
It can be very fascinating the way you look at are your resources being spent in line with your strategy. I think that's the most important part of a financial job, is making sure that resource allocation fits your strategy, and that's super important.
And do you think that backgrounds help you with what you do today?
Both today, but also when I had operational roles. I've been leading a number of different large regions in this company, and having a good financial understanding surely helps doing a good operational role.
And which countries were those?
So I've been living in India for 3 years. I've been living in Russia for 3 years, almost 4, and then I've been living in Dubai, the UAE, for 3 years.
That's an interesting mix.
It's a phenomenal mix. It's very diverse, both culture-wise, business-wise. Living there as a family, also very different conditions. Yes.
Do you have a favorite between the?
No.
No.
By purpose, I don't. Many are asking me that question, but I just like jobs. I find joy in different things, and there are pluses and minuses living abroad in each of the 3. There are pluses and minuses living in Denmark. So no,
Yeah.
You're not going to get that.
Okay, I skipped that question. And for how many years since you've been leading people?
Oh, that's probably since 2003 or 4. So almost 20 years.
It's been a while.
Yes.
How do you like it?
I love it.
Why?
The ability to help people develop, the ability to see successes of other people, the ability to hopefully steer people in the right direction, create joy of working, create joy of being together. So for me, people management is all about making sure that I create the right conditions for those I work with.
And did you always know that you wanted to become a leader, or how did that happen?
No, I don't think so. I have, during my youth, been blessed with different roles that, of course, were not people leadership roles, but captain of a football team and other things. So I've been having the joy of taking some kind of leadership role also in my youth. So it's not something that I planned, but it's something I've enjoyed also when it was informal leadership.
So it was a natural thing for you, no?
Part of it is natural, a part of it is difficult.
Which parts are difficult?
For me, the part that is difficult is when I have to disappoint other people, when I have to lay off people, when I have been in a situation where I think there's a mismatch between what the employee in this instance are capable of delivering or willing to deliver, and the needs of an organization. I don't enjoy that, but it's part of the role.
And do you have like some tips and tricks, or do you know how to handle those hard conversations?
For me, it's very no, because I think every situation is different, and I think every leader is different. So some other leaders, given who they are, would maybe not find it as difficult as I do. So I think it's very individual. What I will say is that what works for me is extremely an extreme level of planning, preparation, and thinking through how will I address the issue that I have in front of me. Not letting it go, but being very well prepared, so that I still can be respectful, and I still can be honest towards the person who is there. So for me, preparation is the key thing.
Have you done this insight color test?
No,
No.
never.
You sound very blue to me.
Yeah. But
That's,
I never done it.
That's like the profile that is very analytic, very data driven, and coming from finance. I mean, I'm not surprised.
No, of course that's part of it. But an element, as I said in the beginning, that gives me joy is the human aspect more than the analytical aspect. So I think I'm a mix of all the four colors, but of course my my starting point is analytical.
And I also feel like you have a lot of like extrovert attributes to yourself. Mm-hmm. You like being with people.
Yeah.
And I know that you also have a very demanding role, and you got a lot of responsibility. So how do you maintain your energy?
By being with people.
Really? That charges you?
Yeah, it does. That charges me, and then it also charges me to in my private life be together with my family, my friends, and then do a lot of exercise. But from a pure professional point of view, it is to be with people. It is to see that we make progress. That's what gives me energy.
Yeah. And at work, do you have any trigger points, like what upsets you or what makes you uncomfortable? Like it could be any situation or...
So upset is when I have a feeling of people not working in the same direction, despite it's been decided upon. So internal politics, which is in any organization, is something that upsets me and I don't like being part of. What makes me uncomfortable is that as well, but also when I'm brought out of my comfort zone into areas that I'm not particularly good at or familiar with, and those are more personal than the upsetting part.
And would you like to elaborate a little on those?
Yeah, but it can be. I have over the last couple of years spent a lot of time on understanding who I am as a person and why I am what I am, so to speak, and some part of my upbringing and my past has made me uncomfortable when there's a big disagreement, when there's not harmony. I like harmony. What is uncomfortable is when I don't make people happy, because I like people are being happy. So there's some of these elements that doesn't come natural to me, and those are the difficult parts of both private life and for that matter professional life.
And I guess, trying to keep people happy, that's a lot of work. And that's a lot of pressure also on yourself to constantly try to keep everyone in harmony. And that takes away from your own energy as well, I guess.
Not particularly when it succeeds. Then it gives me energy. When I don't succeed, then of course it's difficult and takes energy.
Yeah. And other than work, what gives you energy? You mentioned about some exercise, sports, your family, friends. But as a person,
That's
what
it.
else? That's it.
That's it. Family, friends, and a lot of exercise. That these are some of the joys I have in life.
What kind of exercise do you do?
So as I said in the beginning, I'm approaching 50. So I don't any longer play football, which I love. I don't any longer run a lot because my knees and ankles hurt. So now I turn into to road bike and gravel biking. So that's more subtle and nicer on the joints. So that I do a lot.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you. And you also are working in an area that is constantly developing, constantly changing. Can you also tell me a little bit about how do you manage that change and constant expectations?
So I've come to learn and enjoy that things are not straightforward and take different turns. I have, before this job, between 17 and 20, been responsible for many of the emerging markets. So that included Africa, Middle East, Asia, and others. And these are areas where things happen overnight. And some are predictable, some, probably most, are not predictable. And I've come to enjoy the fact of things changing overnight. It actually now gives me energy, and I'm finding comfort in that matter. This also applies to my current job within the field of obesity, which is a completely new therapy area for the pharmaceutical industry, and one in which you see constant changes.
And I guess commercial is the place for people that likes change, no?
Yeah, but also I would say it's a phenomenal, exciting area, the field of obesity, to be in these days, as the underlying biology is being discovered, and some of the modes of action for different pharmaceutical assets are just being explored, discovered, invented as we speak. So it, for me, is not only in the commercial part, it's equally so in the first part of the value chain of a big pharmaceutical company.
Yeah, as a nerd myself, I love the scientific part behind that. And I love that it's not only now about weight management, but we are more and more approaching that as a more holistic way, and how we can, manage this chronic disease. So that is definitely exciting. Maybe some last points about like any advices for people that would like to have a career in commercial, or that would like to become a leader in the future.
If I start with the leader part, for me, it's very important that leaders sort of can describe why is it that people should work for you? What is it you want to bring? What is the value you want to bring? And then secondly, be honest about who you are, and if possible, even figure out why you are who you are, because it gives, it's given me, and I'm pretty certain it will give most people an insight into what effect they have on other people. So that's the leadership part. The commercial part, get out and get your hands dirty and see the world. That's the best advice I can give. This is the joy of the commercial organization, is that you can see different markets, you can see different cultures, and the more you have seen, in my view, the better you are equipped.
Yeah, and definitely get a lot of exposure in different regions, and maybe, from the affiliates as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you a lot, Frederik, for our talk today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.